All right. We're gonna make some filet mignon today. USDA choice. Not prime choice. Prime is like $130. Screw that shit. I'm not spending that much money on something that's gonna taste exactly the same. So, USDA choice. Let's cut it open. This is a good chunk of meat. And it's already pretty clean. So there's not really much of anything to remove. Thank you, Casca. You did a good job. Everything is pretty nice and clean. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fold it over, wrap it up, tie it up, and throw it in a sous vide. Well, obviously I'm gonna season it. And then I'm gonna throw it in the sous vide and cook it medium rare for a couple of hours. Let's get it seasoned. Salt and pepper, nothing fancy. I'm kind of tired of all this, fancy flavors and all that stuff. I just want plain meat. I was really craving because I haven't cooked any meat since since Saturday or whatever. And all my family members are like, oh, we're eating meat all the time, we want to have some chicken and we want to have some this and that. So I was cooking fish and chicken and stuff. But I really wanted to have some nice, good steak. Look at that. You can actually leave fingerprints on it. Good shit. Anyway, so yeah, let's do it. The kosher salt and black pepper, nothing else. Just season it well from every direction. And then I'm gonna fold it over, make it nice and thick and even. And tie it up with a string. And in the cooker it goes. I'm using a kosher salt, Morton coarse kosher salt. Let's go. Just salt it liberally. Don't worry about over salting it, especially if you're sous vide the meat, because the juices will wash it all out, and it's not really going to be that salty at the end. I've already learned that lesson. Every time I salt it too much and then I just fry it or cook it or grill it, it ends up being a bit too salty. But when I put it into sous vide, it comes out just perfect. And this is what we're doing, so there's no worries. Nice amount of salt. Beautiful. I will sous vide the entire thing and then I'm gonna freeze it because it makes life much easier later when you can just take it out, defrost it, throw it on a fry pan or on the grill, sear it, and you have a perfectly cooked steak right off the bat. All right, let's cover it up a little bit from this direction. And as you can see, I'm not stingy with pepper. I love pepper. The flavor it gives, the meat comes out amazing. I'll just roll it in there, just like that. Just let it pick up all of that shit. Woo, good stuff. Okay, I think we're good. Just fold it over so that it's all nice and even. There's no thick part or thin parts, like this. And we're gonna get some, what is it called, the butcher's twine or whatever, and tie it up. Okay. Guess what? From the previous time, I figured out how to do the twining the proper way. So here we go. This is how you do it. That's it. Nicely wrapped, ready to go in the bag. Beautiful. Ooh, it's all good. All right, I use this kind of bags from IKEA, nonetheless. So we're just gonna grab this guy and gently stuff it in there. Just gonna fold it over like this. Just like that. Smack it a couple of times to get the extra air out. And we're gonna submerge it in water and get all the air out. Actually, while I was doing all this, I thought about it and I've decided this is one of my favorite whiskeys, the Shilldake, the 12-year-old classic. And I'm gonna add some of that into the bag before I close it. Why? Because alcohol does wonders with meat. And then, once we close it, all that alcohol is going to remain in the bag. And the stuff that it's going to do to that meat is beyond any kind of explanation. We'll just see it when it's done. Now everything's beautifully sealed. As you can see, there is not a bubble of air left. It's completely closed off. I use the basically water displacement technique. Whatever air was in the bottom is displaced with the alcohol, with the liquor. It actually got displaced to the top, and there is absolutely no air. It is completely sealed, and now we can start cooking. So I'm gonna cook it for 2 hours at 128 Fahrenheit, and that is gonna give us a perfect medium rare filet mignon. Let's go. I'll see you in 2 hours. While the meat is cooking, I'm prepping the side of jalapenos, garlic, bok choy leaf, bok choy stem, and ginger. I'm also cutting the beet root into half leaves, and then I'm gonna fry it. I was just kind of rushing a minute ago, and on the previous part that I was cutting, I almost cut my finger off. But I didn't, luckily. I only clipped a piece of my nail. All right, so this is what we have. The beetroot, and we're gonna saute this, the garlic, the jalapeno, and ginger. I'm gonna throw it on the skillet right now. Let me show you. I'm gonna give it some upgraded salt and mix it in. This is not the meat, so I want that rosemary and thyme and all that stuff that's in the upgraded salt. I want it in there. It's gonna taste so good. I'm gonna have to flip it and mix it continuously. This is starting to look really good. Almost there. The beets are still a little raw, but let's give it. I think we're about to be good. Yeah, we're pretty much done on this end. Ooh, hot, 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 hot. Not quite. Could spend a little more time. Ooh, it's spicy. And that jalapeno gave it a really nice little zing. Tastes delicious. It still needs a couple of minutes though, because the beets are still a little crispy and crunchy inside. I like it that way, but not everybody else does. I think at this point I can take it off the heat and let it just kind of simmer on its own until it cools off, because that is finished and done. It is steak time. Let's get that skillet hot. I'm gonna put some olive oil. That's good enough. And about half a stick of butter. And let it melt. Next, we're gonna open that meat Ooh, the smell is amazing. I'm gonna take that out. It looks like a big black lobster tail. Looks good. And now we're gonna cut off 3 steaks. One, 2, 3. And the rest, I'm gonna put back in the bag. And I'm gonna let it cool. And I'm gonna let it freeze for another day. Look at that meat. Look at the color of that steak. This is absolutely incredible. Beautiful. It's just so nice. Now we're just gonna gently place it on the skillet. I made a mistake. Put it on the skillet and I forgot that I had it on low heat. So
it's gonna be a little rare.
No, it's not gonna be rare. It's gonna be medium rare because it's ready to cook. I just don't want it to overcook.
No.
Whip it. This is done. Oh! This is done. This is done. Now we're gonna let it rest for about 5-10 minutes. Let's build a plate. So we're gonna make a plate with some of the bok choy and the bok choy leaf. I really wanted to have some arugula on that, so I'm not going to disappoint. Some arugula. Covers up the bok choy, but who gives a shit? And some, oh man, it doesn't open. Some ginger dressing. Come on. It's not coming out. Gotta shake it up a little bit. Better. There we go. And now beautiful. It's a bit overcooked to my taste, but it's super tender. I think I kind of fucked up on this one, but what are you gonna do? I have done, no, it's still nice and pink.
Is it pink on the camera?
Yeah. Looks pink on the camera.
It looks pink here too. What do you mean?
Well, it's not as
It's
pink.
not as defined, but yeah, it's still good.
Oh, it's definitely good.